still can't believe you stayed up all night for this, Lena said, laughing as she leaned over my desk. I told you I'd finish the prototype before sunrise. I said, rubbing my eyes. You doubted me. I didn't doubt you, she smiled. I just thought you'd pass out halfway, I grinned, sliding the tablet toward her. This is it. Our dream in code form. She touched the screen, scrolling through the app interface we'd built together for months. Ethan, she whispered, this could really change everything. It will, I said. If we get the right investor, we'll finally quit our jobs and build something real. Her eyes lit up the way they always did when she believed in me. Back then, that look was everything I lived for. 2 weeks later, everything started to change. She came home late, dressed better than usual. A faint smell of cologne that wasn't mine on her coat. Where were you? I asked, trying to sound casual. Meeting, she said quickly, dropping her bag on the couch. With who? Just business stuff. I looked at her. Since when do we have meetings I don't know about? She avoided my eyes. Ethan, you're overthinking again. No, I'm just asking. Can we not do this right now? She snapped. You're always so suspicious. I didn't push further. I didn't want to be that Geetha insecure boyfriend. But something in her tone stuck with me like a splinter. A few days later, Zafir's teammate and my oldest friend called. Ethan, you should see this. See what? Check the investor list for the TechRise conference tomorrow. Adrian Wells is attending. I frowned. The guy who owns Quantum Innovations? Yeah, but that's not the point. His new partner's name is on the program who... She hesitated. Lena Hart. My stomach dropped. That can't be right. I thought so too, Sophie said quietly. But it's printed, Ethan. She's going to be on stage. I didn't sleep that night. My mind replayed every smile, every promise, every time she'd said we're in this together. I showed up the next day anyway, hoping it was some kind of misunderstanding. The hall was packed. Cameras flashed. I stood near the back, heart pounding as Adrian Wells, the man whose money could buy everything but on, took the stage. He smirked. Innovation isn't about love stories or dreams. It's about smart partnerships. And then Lena walked out beside him, wearing the same dress she wore the night we pitched our idea for the first time. The crowd cheered. I couldn't move, Adrian continued. We at Quantum Innovations are proud to launch our newest deployment, designed by our brilliant lead developer. Right. Our name, our code. My throat went dry. The lights, the clapping, her smile, it all blurred together. I wanted to scream her name, to demand why. But all I could do was stare. After the event, I forced my way through the crowd until I reached her. Lena, I said, voice shaking. You used our project. She turned, startled. Ethan, not here, not here. You stole our dream and made it his. It's not like that, then tell me what it's like. Looked around nervously. Adrian saw potential. Okay? He offered something you couldn't. I laughed bitterly. What? Money? Fame? Stability? She whispered. You had ideas but no plan. He believed in what I could do. We could do, I corrected. Everything you're showing off, every line of code you, and I built that together. Ethan, please, she said, voice trembling. You don't understand? I understand perfectly, I said. You traded loyalty for luxury. She flinched, eyes glistening. It wasn't just about that. Then what was it about? Before she could answer, Adrian stepped up behind her, his hand resting possessively on her shoulder. Is there a problem here? I glared at him. You stole my work. He smirked. Correction, I bought it. Legally. Your girlfriend sold it, remember? Lena looked away, shame flooding her face. I clenched my fists. You'll regret this, he chuckled. No, I won't. You were just the stepping stone. Learn to let go. He walked off with her, leaving me in a storm of humiliation. Outside, Sophie found me sitting on the curb. I saw everything, she said softly. I didn't look at her. Guess I should thank her. She proved I was never enough. Don't say that, Sophie whispered. She made a choice, not you. I gave her everything, I said. Late night savings, faith, and she sold it like a cheap product. Ethan will start again, she said. You still have the talent. I shook my head. Not tonight? Then what now? I stared at the ground, voice barely audible. Now, I disappear. She sighed, but didn't argue. She just stood there with me in silence, the kind that feels heavier than words. When she finally walked away, I sat alone under the flickering streetlight, the city noise fading behind me. Everything we built was gone. But strangely, I didn't cry. I felt empty, hollow, numb in the worst way that night. I died in every way except the one that mattered. I stayed alive to remember. I spent the next few days staring at the ceiling of my empty apartment. No calls, no texts, not even from Lena, just silence. Sophie knocked on my door one morning. Ethan, open up. You can't keep doing this. I'm fine, I said, voice flat. You sound like you're dying. I probably am. Just slower, she sighed, stepping inside. You haven't eaten. There's dust on your laptop. Doesn't matter. The world thinks I'm a thief now. That's not true. It is. Adrian made sure of it. He called me a fraud in front of investors. Said I tried to steal his design. Sophie clenched her fists. You could fight back? With what? Lawyers cost money. Money I don't have. She sat beside me, then start again. You're smarter than them. I shook my head. I can't even look at my own code. Every line reminds me of her. She whispered, she doesn't deserve that kind of power over you. I didn't reply. The truth was, I didn't know how to live without the dream we built. By the end of the month, my landlord handed me a notice. You're 2 weeks late, Ethan. I'm sorry. I nodded. I'll leave tomorrow. Packing took an hour. Most of my things fit in one bag. The rest didn't matter. I moved into a rented room above a small bakery. The walls were thin, the floor creaked, and the only window faced a brick wall. At night, I'd hear laughter from the street below, people with lives, jobs, hope. I had none of it. Sophie still called sometimes. Did you eat today? Bread, I said. That's not food. It's enough. Ethan, please. You can't keep living like this. I just need time, I told her. Once people forget my name, I'll breathe again. But the truth was, I didn't want to breathe. Not yet. Weeks blurred together until one rainy evening. Someone knocked on my door. An older man stood outside holding an umbrella. He was tall, dressed sharply, his silver hair slicked back. Ethan Cole, he asked. Yes? He smiled faintly. You probably don't remember me. I'm Robert Grant. Blinked. Mr. Grant. The investor from TechRise? The same. He looked around the narrow hallway. May I come in? I hesitated, then stepped aside. It's not much, but sure. He glanced around the cramped room. I heard what happened. Adrian Wells has a reputation for destroying people. I didn't expect him to drag you down too. I guess I made it easy for him, I muttered. Grant studied me. You always had integrity. That's why I remembered you. Integrity doesn't pay rent. No, he said, sitting down. But it builds empires if you survive long enough. I almost laughed. Empires. Look around, sir. I can barely afford coffee, he smiled. Then let's start with coffee. My treat. I don't take charity. It's not charity, he said calmly. It's a conversation. We sat in a small cafe downstairs. The air smelled like burnt sugar. I saw your presentation months ago, he said. You had something real, an idea with heart. That's rare. Heart doesn't sell, I said bitterly. Lies do. Maybe, but people like Adrian burn fast. Men like you, if you learn, burn longer. Wait. I looked at him confused. Why are you telling me this? He leaned forward. Because I see a spark left in you. You think it's gone, but it's not. I shook my head. You don't know what it's like to watch someone you love destroy everything you built. He nodded slowly. I do. I lost my company once. My wife left the same week. Took me years to forgive myself. I stared at him. So what did you do? He smiled faintly. I stopped chasing what broke me. I started building what couldn't be taken. I didn't answer. His words cut deeper than I wanted to admit. He finished his coffee, then stood. You don't need her pity, Ethan. You need your fire back. I looked down at my hands, trembling slightly. What if there's nothing left to burn? There is, he said softly. You're just standing in the ashes. He handed me his card. Call me when you're ready to rebuild. Not before. Then he left, leaving the chair empty and the rain still falling outside. That night, I sat alone again. But for the first time in months, the silence didn't crush me. I placed Mr. Grant's card on the desk and whispered to myself, I'm not done yet. Maybe I couldn't bring back what I lost. Maybe I didn't even want to, but I'd make sure they remembered. My name, not as the man she betrayed, but as the man who rose from it. 2 years can either heal you or harden you. For me, they did both. Most mornings started with Mr. Grant's voice echoing through the office. Discipline before success, Ethan. Yeah, I muttered, tapping my keyboard. I'm working on it. You're working, but not disciplined, he replied. There's a difference, I smirked. You sound like my conscience. Good. Someone has to be. That was our rhythm hymn, mentoring. Me pretending not to listen while memorizing every word. By then, Sophie had joined me full-time. She walked into my tiny rented office, holding 2 coffees. You've been here all night again, she said. I'll sleep when this code works. She set the cup down. You said that yesterday, and the day before, I added, smiling faintly. She crossed her arms. You know, when you said we'd call it Phoenix Dynamics, I didn't think you meant it literally. You're going to burn out before you rise. I looked at her, tired but determined. That's fine. The ashes are familiar. She sighed, shaking her head. You've changed, Ethan. You don't even laugh anymore. Be because there's not much left to laugh about. Or maybe, she said softly, you're afraid of moving on. I paused, staring at the monitor. Moving on is easy. Forgetting isn't. By the 3rd month, we had our first investor meeting. I still remember the tension in that tiny boardroom. Mr. Grant leaned toward me. Don't sell the product. Sell the vision. I thought we were selling software, he smiled. Software is the body. Vision is the soul. I nodded, repeating that in my head like a mantra. When the investors walked in 3 people in suits, skeptical eyes scanning the slides, I kept my tone calm. Phoenix Dynamics is not about competing, I said. It's about rebuilding what's broken in businesses and in people. They exchanged glances. One of them asked, what makes you think you can handle a project of this scale? Because I've already survived failure, I replied. And nothing teaches you to win like losing everything once. Mr. Grant smiled faintly beside me. That was the moment I knew we'd made an impression. We didn't get rich overnight. We failed. Often. Servers crashed. Investors backed out. Our second app launch flopped so badly that Sophie cried in the stairwell. I don't get it, she said, wiping her eyes. We did everything right. Maybe right doesn't work in this world, I muttered. Then why keep doing it? I looked at her, my voice low. Because I'm not doing it for the world. She studied me, understanding dawning in her eyes. You're still thinking about her, aren't you? I didn't answer. I didn't have to. Months later, Small Tech magazine ran a headline, Phoenix Dynamics, the quiet force behind the new wave of AI integration. It wasn't front-page news, but it was something. The phone started ringing. Investors called. Clients wanted meetings. One morning, Mr. Grant placed a newspaper on my desk. You've done it. Not yet, I said. We're just starting, he smiled. Good. You sound like a man who knows where he's going. I looked at the window, the city's skyline glowing gold. I know exactly where. That same week, an unexpected email arrived. The sender, Claire Wells, Zadrian's sister. I frowned. This has to be a joke. Sophie leaned over my shoulder. You think she's reaching out for business or trouble? Both, I said, opening it. The email read, Mr. Cole, I'd like to discuss a potential collaboration. I believe your company could assist ours in system integration. Claire Wells, Sophie whistled. Wow, That's bold. Do you want me to delete it? No, I said quietly. Set up a meeting. When Claire arrived, she looked nothing like her brother, confident. Polished, but not arrogant. Mr. Cole, she said, shaking my hand. Or should I say, the man my brother underestimated. I raised an eyebrow. That's an interesting introduction. I don't sugarcoat, she said. I know what Adrian did. I'm not here to apologize for him. I'm here because you're good at what you do. Sophie exchanged glances with me, clearly unsure. I leaned back. So why now? Because your company is rising fast, Claire said. And his. Isn't? You have something he doesn't focus? Her honesty caught me off guard. You're not afraid he'll find out you came to me? She smiled. He already knows. He called you a fluke. Then let's prove him wrong. Good, she said. I like men who prefer action over anger. For the first time in years, I laughed a short, sharp sound that surprised even me. After she left, Sophie looked at me. You're really going to work with her? I'll work with anyone who respects the work. And if Lena finds out, I met her eyes. Then she'll finally understand what she threw away. Weeks passed, and the collaboration took off. Claire was sharp, professional, and surprisingly fair. We built something solid together, something that couldn't be stolen this time. One night, while going through some reports, I caught my reflection in the glass. The tired eyes, the calm face. Sophie walked in, dropping a stack of papers. You look different, she said. How so? Less angry. More. Settled. I smiled faintly. Maybe I just learned to use the anger differently. She tilted her head. And what drives you now? I looked out at the city lights, my voice low. Guilt, not mine, hers. Sophie frowned. That's a heavy fuel. Burns clean, I said. And it never runs out. That night, I opened my laptop and saw a news headline trending online. Phoenix Dynamics signs landmark deal with Wells Group. Underneath it, Adrian's name appeared in small print, his company listed as under restructuring. I leaned back in my chair. Feeling something cold and satisfying settle inside me, I whispered to myself, I didn't build this empire to impress her. I built it so her guilt would never let her sleep in peace. I'd just finished a late meeting when Sophie's voice came through the intercom. Ethan, there's someone here to see you. It can wait till morning. She says it can't. I sighed. Who is it? Pause. Then softly, Lena. For a moment, everything inside me stopped moving. 2 years of silence, and now her name again spoken in my office. Send her in, I said. My voice didn't even sound like mine. The door opened slowly. She walked in, wearing black eyes red, shoulders trembling beneath the weight of something invisible. Hi, she whispered. I leaned back in my chair. You found the right address this time. Her lips quivered. I deserved that, probably. Silence filled the room. The ticking clock on the wall was louder than either of us. She finally said, I heard about Phoenix Dynamics. You've built something incredible. I nodded. Yeah. From the ashes, remember? She looked down. I do. For a while, neither of us spoke. I watched her trace the rim of her handbag with shaking fingers. Adrian's been arrested, she said suddenly. Fraud, money laundering, everything caught up with him. I know. You knew? I read the same news everyone else did. She blinked rapidly, voice cracking. It's all gone, Ethan. The company, the house, the people who used to smile at us, they disappeared overnight. Not us, Lena, I said quietly. You, she swallowed hard. You're right. She took a deep breath. I didn't come here to defend him, then why are you here? Her eyes lifted to mine, glistening with tears. Because I finally understand what I threw away. I laughed softly. You understand now? That's convenient. Stupid, she said, blinded by promises that never existed. You were, her voice trembled, you were the only one who ever believed in me. Belief doesn't mean much after betrayal. What? She nodded slowly. I know, but I'm not asking for anything. I just needed to say it. Studied her face, the exhaustion, the guilt, the weight of everything she thought she'd gained. Do you remember, I asked, the day you left? You didn't even look back. She winced. I couldn't. I thought if I looked back, I'd never walk away. She hesitated. Now I wish I had turned around. The words hung between us like smoke. I could feel the ache in her voice, but it didn't move me. Not anymore. I'm sorry, she whispered. For everything. Sorry doesn't rebuild the man you helped destroy. I know that too. Then why are you crying here instead of rebuilding yourself? Her tears spilled over. Because I can't. You took the best parts of me when you left. I exhaled slowly. No, Lena, you gave them away. She stepped closer, voice trembling. Ethan, please? Just say something real. Not the business tone, not the cold one. Just you. I looked at her for a long moment. You want real? Yes, all right, I said quietly. You didn't destroy me, Lena. You created the man standing before you. Every night I spent awake, every time I was laughed at, every piece of pain you handed MIT built this version of me. Her breath hitched. I never wanted to hurt you that way. You did anyway. She reached for my hand, but I didn't move. I still love you, she whispered. I almost smiled. Then I hope you learn to live with that. Her fingers froze midair. The silence that followed was sharper than anger. She finally said, You've changed. I had to. You don't even hate me. I outgrew you. She wiped her eyes. That hurts more than hate. I know. For the first time, I saw her realization. It wasn't about losing love. It was about losing power. The control she once had over my world was gone. She turned toward the door, then stopped. Will you ever forgive me? I leaned back in my chair, thinking, forgiveness isn't my priority anymore. Pieces. She nodded, defeated. You always were stronger than me, I said softly. You just made me stronger. She managed a broken smile. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Lena. When she left, the room felt heavier and lighter at the same time. Sophie appeared at the door a few minutes later. Was that her? Yeah, she cried. Sophie said gently, I noticed. Are you okay? I stared at the empty chair she'd occupied. I am now... Sophie hesitated. You didn't yell at her? You didn't even look angry. 'Cause anger means she still matters. And she doesn't. I looked out the window, at the city lights blinking against the dark. Not anymore. As the elevator sound faded, I thought about all the nights I'd imagined this moment her returning, apologizing, begging for one more chance. But the truth was quieter, simpler. Revenge wasn't fire or fury. It was calm, the kind that left the other person drowning in their own regret. I leaned back, closed my eyes, and whispered the truth she'd never hear again. You didn't destroy me. Lena, you built me. And for the first time, I meant it. The cameras flashed the moment I stepped into the hall. Ethan Cole. Someone shouted, How does it feel to be called the man who rose from betrayal? I smiled faintly. It feels like I finally stopped running from my own shadow. Microphones pushed closer. Lights burned against my skin. The summit crowd buzzed around me, entrepreneurs, investors, reporters all whispering the same name they once mocked. I never got used to the noise. Success is loud, but peace is quiet. After my keynote speech, a reporter stopped me by the exit. You built Phoenix Dynamics from nothing. What kept you going when everyone gave up on you? I looked straight into the camera. Discipline. Not revenge, not look, just discipline.
Actiquas.
He nodded, scribbling fast. And love? Do you still believe in it? I smiled again, smaller this time. I believe in purpose. Love. It comes second. Outside, Sophie waited near the black sedan, phone in hand. You handled that like a pro, she said. I had a good coach, I replied. She grinned. You mean Mr. Grant? Both of you, I said. One gave me wisdom. The other gave me patience. Patience, she teased. I spent half the time yelling at you to sleep. Exactly my point. We laughed soft. Genuine laughter, the kind I hadn't felt in years. In the car, I watched the city fly by at the same streets I once walked, broken, invisible. Every billboard, every glass building, every echo of success felt like a scar that healed right. My phone buzzed. A notification. Lena Harper spotted leaving courthouse alone. I stared at it for a second, then turned the screen off. Sophie noticed. You still follow the news about her? No, I said. The news follows me. She's just part of the headline. She reached out to me once, Sophie admitted. Wanted to ask how you're doing? I raised a brow. And you told her? That you're doing fine, she said, and that you don't look back. Good answer. Later that evening, Mr. Grant called. His voice was still as steady as when I first met him in that cheap rented room years ago. Heard your speech, Ethan, he said. You've come a long way. I had a good mentor, he chuckled. Don't flatter an old man. You did the work yourself. You believed in me when no one else did. I didn't believe in you, son, he said. I believed in your fire. You just had to stop burning yourself with it. You once told me I didn't need her pity, I needed my fire back. Turns out you were right. I usually am. We both laughed quietly. After the call, I walked into my office, the highest floor of the Phoenix Tower. The city lights stretched beneath me, endless and alive. Sophie entered a few minutes later. They're still downstairs, you know? Reporters want a quote for tomorrow's front page. What kind of quote? She looked at me carefully. Something about closure. I turned toward the window. Then give them this. She thought I'd die without her. Instead, I built an empire with her guilt as my fuel. Sophie blinked, half amused, half proud. You really want that printed? Yes, I said. It's the truth. She stepped closer. Do you ever miss her, Ethan? I thought about it for a moment. No, I miss who I was before her. The version of me that believed love couldn't lie. That version doesn't exist anymore, she said gently. Exactly. And that's why I'm free. She smiled faintly. You've changed more than you realize. I had to, I said. Pain doesn't just break you, it shapes what's left. Intercom buzzed. My assistant's voice crackled through. Sir, the board is ready for you. I nodded. Tell them I'll be there in 5. Sophie turned to leave, but I stopped her. Hey, I said. Thank you. For staying when everyone else left? She shrugged, smiling. Someone had to make sure you didn't burn the world down. Too late, I joked. I just rebuilt it in my name instead. When she left, I stood by the glass wall again, watching the skyline reflect the fading orange light. It used to hurt seeing success and thinking of her. Now it just reminded me how far I'd walked without looking back. I whispered to the empty room. Revenge didn't rebuild me. Discipline did. Pain just taught me how to use it. Outside, the city roared with ambition, but inside, I felt quiet, steady, whole. The boy she betrayed died years ago. The man she created stood here now, untouchable, unbroken, and finally at peace. For the first time in a long time, I turned off my phone, closed the curtains, and sat in silence. No noise, no ghosts. Just me and everything I'd built from nothing. Lena's guilt was her punishment. My peace was my reward. I smiled to myself and whispered, "It's over." And it was.